I don't know what.
Hey!
I don't know what that means.
Welcome back, guys. How you doing? We're back for another installment on the life of Elijah, where we dive into 1 Kings and see what truth awaits for us. We're glad to be with you guys. So we're going to turn over to 1 Kings 19. So this is your warning to get your Bibles ready right now. So I'm joined with Sarah. Hey, Sarah. And then I have Chris right there. There's Patrick. And, of course, I'm Val. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you guys. And we're glad to bring you this lesson. So, in previous weeks, we read some awesome things. Just a little recap. The cool thing about the life of Elijah is that God uses Elijah's faith to perform some crazy miracles. We've learned that God is ultimately in control in the previous weeks. We've learned that we need to have faith in God even when our situation might not be in our favor. And we've learned that there is no flip-flopping. You're either for Christ or you're against Christ. There's no middle ground. In today's conversation, we're going to learn that God can use you wherever you're at in your life, as long as you have faith and that there's nothing you can do to make God love you less or love you more. So we're going to read some awesome things in Elijah about Elijah once again. A few quick announcements. As you're watching this, you'll notice that the new live time, publishing time for this video is Saturdays at 5 p.m. So we're not time traveling. This is Tuesday that we record this. So on Wednesday 26th, that's when core groups have started. So we resumed in-person youth group meetings, so we'll start publishing these for Saturday nights. If you're watching this and you didn't know that we started youth group back up and live in person, this is a friendly reminder that it started. We've sent tons of info, so you can't get mad at us for you not knowing. Maybe you live under a rock. I'm sorry. Just straight throwing the facts out there. We are requiring masks when we meet in person, but if you can't make it for any reason, let me know, let Chase know, and we'll do whatever we can to include you into anything, as well as get you the info for our midweek Zoom calls that we've been doing as well. Another announcement, Patrick and Chris are aware, but if you guys don't know, I made a Minecraft server for middle school, but high schoolers can play it too. Sarah's like, cool. Cool beans, cool story, brother.
You made it, but like,
You don't play, she doesn't play video games. So if you want to join the Minecraft server, message me on Instagram or email me. No griefing, no destroying houses, but hit me up and we'll get you in there and we'll get you having fun.
It's like,
Yeah, it's really tiny.
no.
There's like 10 people in it. But with that said, we got a little game. We're going to play Bean Boozled. It's a fan favorite. Now, this cool container is COVID friendly because the beans are in here. You lift it up and then you go up and then you pop this open and bam, you got some beans right there.
fancy.
Super fancy.
The
So
blue one.
what we're going to do is we're going to go around, starting with Patrick, and then Chris, me, Sarah. We're going to do it all 3 times. We're going to do it 3 times. We're going to eat 3 beans,
Woo!
and there's no smelling them beforehand.
Oh.
We have to at least chew it 3 times, and we have to swallow it. So there's some fun flavors. I'm hoping that I get dirty dishwasher. But here, so I'm going to pick 3 beans for you, Sarah. I'm going to shake it up first. All right, so you're going to take whatever is at the top, and no smelling. So grab those 2. And then here, grab one more. Oh, wait, here, let's get a different color. It was 2 of the same color. There you go. All right, I'm going to grab 3. I'll take this green one.
I could smell it.
Booger. Smell what?
I can smell it.
Smell what?
It's very smell.
It
Oh
probably
gosh.
had, like poop or something.
This might be the dishwasher one. All right. Chris.
I think
That's
that
good.
might be a
Or that
You're
might
gonna
be
get
like
me.
rotten egg.
Oh dear. What have you done?
Oh, did you get a blue one?
That one up.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Oh,
Whoever
I think
gets
he
the
got a
blue
barf one.
Hey, put it down. No
Yeah.
smelling it. No smelling
I'm
it.
not.
No,
I got this one.
Grab it.
No.
Grab it.
Mm.
Okay, I'm guessing I've
What?
got like booger and poop and barf.
Or baby one.
Yes.
Oh, your blue one.
Woohoo! I got a blue one.
Oh,
Alright.
come on!
It's probably
Yeah.
toothpaste. All right.
I like the
It tastes
toothpaste.
fine. Both the blue ones
Oh,
taste
something
All right,
exactly
Patrick,
Alright.
which one are you gonna eat first? Just pick one.
I'm going to open.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you might want to.
got my cream soda right here
And a Starbucks cup.
and a Starbucks cup.
Okay, I am
Right.
going to do the one that I assume to be vomit.
All right, it's either barf or peach, so go for it, my dude. What is it? What's it taste like? Is it so good? Are you making that face because it's the best jelly bean you've ever eaten?
I can't tell.
Oh.
I think it's good because
Okay.
it doesn't taste particularly
I think
bad.
you'd know
Well,
if it was
something
bad.
does not
Okay,
smell right.
so you pass. All right, Chris, go for it, my dude.
Okay, I'm going for the green one.
Green one. It's either booger or juicy pear.
Watch me get the only booger one.
What does it taste like?
It's good.
It's good. Oh,
Oh, I'm gonna get booger for sure.
All right, I'm gonna eat my green one. Mine's gonna be either booger or juicy pear. Okay.
I'm gonna get booger. I can tell.
Oh, that's juicy pear, all right. That's
Yep.
good. Me and my wife would make pear juice during the quarantine. It was so good. Buy pears and put them in our juicer. It was so good. I love pears. All right,
Your turn, Sarah.
Sarah.
I am eating my green one and watch it be booger.
I'm hoping it's not. You have to swallow it. Is it booger?
Yeah!
Swallow it, quick.
Lucas, I'm gonna shoot.
You want jelly bean? I mean, you want a gummy worm? I promise they're not bad flavored.
No.
I don't know if the cream soda helps at all.
Sarah, good job not letting down the viewers.
Oh, all right. Patrick, what's your next
Yes,
color?
Dee.
Is
The
it
white one.
It's white. It's either oh gosh, it's either spoiled milk or coconut.
Oh, I thought it was baby wipes.
Oh my gosh, that was
Go for it.
disgusting. Anyway, pieces in my teeth.
Yeah, it's spoiled milk.
Okay.
That's it. No reaction.
Bro.
How's it taste? Does it taste good?
Not particularly.
Not particularly.
Okay.
There's
No,
Patrick for
now
you.
there's a coconut flavor.
No. It doesn't
Moral of the
change.
story.
I can't
Story.
All right, Chris. Do you wait, Patrick? Do your taste buds work? Do you know? Can you smell things?
Do your nerves in your face work
Alright.
so that you can move your face?
I can smell that.
Chris, what color is
Yes.
yours?
So this is peachy orange. So
So it's probably barf or peach, or it's either dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie.
Oh, that's a dead fish one.
Ooh, let's hope it's dead fish. Their faces are so unreadable. It's so annoying. What is it?
something gross.
Something gross?
I still have booger in my mouth.
Okay. All right. I'll go for my orange one. It's either gonna be the bad ones will be dead fish or barf. So let's see. This isn't as fun as I thought it was
It's
gonna be.
dead fish.
Okay.
Hey, that's more readable than his.
Yeah.
Christopher was like,
That has a weird taste to it.
it's probably a bad one then.
I'm not sure if it's the dead fish or the barf.
Yeah.
It almost tastes like dog food or something,
Yeah.
Can't
I
distinguish.
feel like
or cat food.
it's probably the dead fish.
The dead fish. Dead fish is like a funky.
It's not good.
Oh gosh, that aftertaste is gross.
It is.
I can't swallow it because it's stuck in my teeth.
I know!
man.
The booger was stuck in my teeth too!
Oh, gross. I'm trying not to think about it.
That's why
Okay,
you-
yeah, I got a bad one. All right. It sits in your mouth okay at first because those sugars spam out, but then once
Once you take the first bite, you're like, oh!
once you get that enzyme reaction with your saliva. All right, Sarah, what color are you gonna do?
Orange with red speckles in it. What's
Ooh,
that?
that's
It's
vomit
either
one.
barf or peach.
Don't let the viewers down, Sarah.
Go Sarah.
I won't.
She's gonna make a face even if it's sweet.
Wait a minute.
Is it the dead fish one?
I'm so confused. Wait.
Oh gosh.
You went from confused to disgusted to confused again. Then to disgusted.
Okay, I need to get it out of my teeth. Gosh.
What does it taste like?
I don't know!
Is it a bad taste?
Yes! I think it's barf.
Like,
It's
oh.
probably barf. It's probably barf. This container is really neat. I love the design on this. It
It's
says
clever.
5th edition.
I'm so good.
All
I
right.
don't even know what that was. It, like,
I'm
tasted
worried
like-
about.
It tasted like peach at first, and then I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. And then I kept eating it, and then it just tasted like foul.
That's
So
the
it's the-
kind
it's
of
the-
flavor, so
yeah,
kind
it's
of
part of
like
the
spoiled
fish.
milk.
Yeah. All right, go for it, my dude.
Toothpaste or blueberry?
Toothpaste or blueberry? Very blue.
Either way, they're
It's
good.
toothpaste.
Okay.
Now you don't need to brush your teeth for the next week. You're good. Because
Oh,
you're
dear.
eating liquid jelly bean toothpaste. All right, Chris, take it away.
Okay, so
Yeah. What was the color, by the way?
it was orange and red, the speckled one.
So,
So
probably
that's a vomit.
is it strawberry banana smoothie?
It was the vomit or peach one.
Yeah, he got the same one as me.
It's
Was
barf.
it barf?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're so not
Barf.
fun. Because you eat it and
It's
you're
nasty.
it's barf.
I'm afraid of this one. Like I gag sometimes.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if you
Ew.
remember.
It was pretty bad.
If
I
you were
absolutely-
middle schooler at the time and you were there, my initiation when I got the job here,
Oh.
like I had to eat like some pretty gross stuff and I couldn't swallow it. I gagged. So this is either stink bug or toasted marshmallow.
So yeah, I've definitely had worse.
I can't smell either. Let me see if I can try and smell this.
You're not allowed to smell it. You just told us that.
Well, I can't smell it to begin with. Like this is what it sounds when I breathe through my nose. I can't breathe through my nose. You just burp.
Yes.
I hope it wasn't like a gross jelly bean burp. Okay, going for it. Praying it's marshmallow. It's marshmallow.
Oh,
yeah.
God!
So good. It's so sweet.
Watch this.
Oh,
be like
yeah.
dog poop or something. Okay, so
No, it's
This-
either
Dog food.
canned dog food or
Oh.
Black licorice.
chocolate pudding.
Oh, it's black licorice.
Black licorice isn't that gross.
Please
It is.
don't kill me.
Black
okay?
licorice is the worst.
Be
I mean,
the
it's
lucky
gross
one.
to eat by
Okay.
itself, but like you know what you're gonna taste.
Oh, that's dog poop. I smelled it. Oh! Oh!
What's dog food taste like?
Yeah.
I hope you don't drool in your Bible.
No, I just inhaled it. Then it came back up. Oh, it's still in my mouth.
Yeah, drink your cream soda.
Oh yeah.
That toasted marshmallow is really good. All in all, I think we got away pretty good.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just her reactions that are making it funny. Have some jelly beans, or have some, not jelly beans, have some gummy worms. They're salty, they might help. They're sweet. They'll mask the taste, they'll get stuck in your teeth in a good way. Do they help?
That was so gross. I
It's a dirty
smelled it
sock
as I
flavor.
put it
I'm just
down.
kidding.
Oh man.
Imagine if there was weird flavored sour worms,
No.
gummy worms.
That would ruin gummy worms.
McDonald's flavored jelly beans. That's nasty.
That'd be gross.
McDonald's smoothie.
The McDonald's smoothie. Yeah, I'm sure there has to be like a blended Happy Meal there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sarah, thanks for making that worth it because it wouldn't be funny unless you were here. So, round of applause for Sarah. You win. 2 for 3 on the bad flavors. Way to go.
No, I got all 3.
All 3 were bad. Oh, 3 for 3 on the bad flavors. Yeah, that's not good. You probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to do one more?
I don't care.
All right, let's do one more. All right, let's see what we get.
Please be blue. Oh no, I'm not eating the brown one. What are those weird things?
Oh man, I want that one. Oh, there's.
Yeah!
Oh, I didn't say. Yeah, don't take both of them.
It's a blue one.
There you go.
Oh, it was berry.
That's good.
Berry blue. All right, Bean Boozled. You get your local fries for $5. Play at home. I'm not a sponsor. Alrighty, guys, that was fun. Now let's continue on to our study. So, a little refresher on some of the context of what we're seeing so far in 1 Kings. So Elijah, once again, he's a prophet. The biggest goal of Elijah, his story and his ministry as a prophet was to prove and demonstrate to all of Israel that Yahweh, not Baal, was the one and only true God. Elijah's name even translates to Yahweh is my God. We see in chapter 17, as we read previously, that God is challenging the powers of Baal. Spoiler alert, Baal is completely and utterly powerless. He fails tremendously. God starts by making a drought plague the land of Israel. Why is that important? Because Baal was the god of life and fertility. So in the eyes of Baal's followers, they would go to Baal and pray to him for rain, for a good harvest, for life, things like that. So God shows that Baal has no power, and that sets the scene for last week's video, where we, in chapter 18, saw that Elijah did this battle with over 400 prophets of Baal to see which god can spontaneously light a fire to an altar. Baal's prophets did their rituals, they did their process. They're chanting for almost 10 hours for the better part of the day. And their altar remained dry, and it was not burnt at all. It was very much not burnt. Whereas when your boy Eli took his turn, he dumps literal gallons of water on the altar, to the point of it being soaked. So I'm not sure if you guys have ever tried starting a fire with wet wood, but it's not possible. Like, you're not going to have a campfire and s'mores with that. But Elijah prays to God, and bam, this wet wood and the altar is just the biggest fire that they've ever seen. So he lights the altar, proving whose God is real and whose God is in control. And at that point, God ends the drought as well. So he brings rains down, and it's done. God reigns victorious as he brings rain down, as always, and it was no contest. After that, Elijah just casually killed all the prophets. He's like, hey, kill them, they're dead. And it's here after Elijah has witnessed some crazy miracles that we pick up and continue the story. Elijah's seen some crazy things. He's witnessed infinite supplies of food being given to people. He's witnessed people coming back to life from the dead. He ran super fast. In the last chapter, it says he ran so fast. Faster than a horse, faster than Usain Bolt. The spontaneous fire, and then also being physically nourished by nature. So he's seen miracles. And this is where we're going to kind of go into that next section. Chapter 13, chapter 19,
19, yeah.
Starts with Chris. Take it away, my dude.
Yeah. Ahab told Jezebel that all that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, So may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow. Then he was afraid, and he arose and ran for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat under a broom tree. And he asked that he might die, saying, It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my fathers. And he lay down and slept under a broom tree. And behold, an angel touched him, and said to him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was at his head a cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water. And he ate and drank, and lay down again. And the angel of the Lord came again, a second time, and touched him, and said, Arise and eat, for the journey is too great for you. And he arose, and ate, and drank, and went in the strength of that food, 40 days and 40 nights, to Horeb, the mount of God.
The Lord speaks to Elijah.
Speak louder, Patrick.
There he came to a cave and lodged in it. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. And he said to him, What are you doing here, Elijah? He said, I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. For the people of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And he said, Go out and stand on the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind tore the mountains, and broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire the sound of a low whisper. And when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in the cloak, and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And behold, there came a voice to him, and said, What are you doing here, Elijah? He said, I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. For the people of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and killed your prophets with the sword. And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And the Lord said to him, Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus. And when you arrive, you shall anoint Hazael to be the king over Syria. And Jehu the son of Nimshi you shall anoint to be the king over Israel. And Elisha the son of Shaphat of Abel-Meholah you shall anoint to be prophet in your place. And the one who escapes from the sword of Hazael shall Jehu put to death, and the one who escapes from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha put to death. Yet I will leave 7,000 in Israel, all the knees that have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him.
Elisha follows Elijah. So he departed from there, and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he was with the 12. Then Elijah passed him and threw his mantle on him. And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah, and says, Please, let me kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow you. And he said to him, Go back again, for what have I done to you? So Elisha turned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slaughtered them and boiled their flesh, using the oxen's equipment, and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he arose and followed Elijah and became his servant.
Awesome. Good job, guys. Thanks for reading that. Hope you guys are able to follow along with that. So if you've been looking at our previous videos, you remember that we've been doing, it's not a end-all be-all, it's just a nice little Bible study tool that kind of helps us look at the passage together, and that's the COMA method. So COMA stands for context, observation, meaning, and application. So we kind of went over all of the context, knowing what was going on beforehand, what's going on now. Refresher, 1 Kings is about all the kings that followed after David. You still have that dog food in your mouth or whatever? So 1 Kings follows the kings after David. In 2 Samuel, God made a promise saying that the Messiah is going to come from your bloodline. And so we kind of see this lineage of bad kings, and we still have this hope that, well, maybe one of them will be the Messiah. Obviously none of them are. It's Jesus. But that's kind of how this points and fits in the bigger narrative as far as what's going on. So continuing this, something that just blew my mind is as I mentioned those miracles earlier, Elijah just does a complete 180, runs away, is terrified, and for no good reason. He just witnessed God do something crazy and miraculous, and bam, turns around. So now that we kind of have that context going on, what are some observations that you guys had in the passage, in those chunks that we read together?
Okay, so I can go.
Yeah.
So I noticed that at the start, Ahab, after seeing Elisha's miracle with the fire, he's kind of hard-headed and runs around and complains to Jezebel what Elijah did to the prophets.
Yeah. Shows who wears the pants in the relationship. Like Ahab probably was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll follow this God. He did this and Baal wasn't able to, but Jezebel was like, nah, I'm going to kill you, Elijah. If I don't do it by this time tomorrow, may the gods kill me as well. Pretty much what she said. Awesome. But yeah, so that was interesting, seeing that whole dialogue happen. Any other observations, guys?
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting how it said with the strength of that food, he went, for 40 days and 40 nights, he went to the Mount of God.
Yeah.
And so I was...
Just Mount Sinai, the same mountain that
Mount Sinai.
the Ten Commandments came down from. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like amazing he could like go that long.
Well, how wild is it? Like he got woken up from a nap by an angel, and the angel's like, "Hey, bro, you're hungry. Eat some food." And then he goes back to sleep, and then they're like, "Hey, you need more food. You're gonna have a long journey ahead of you."
Yeah.
And it just says, like it says cake, but it's bread, so it's not like it's like funfetti cake that you get from the store, but it's bread and water that was made there on hot coals or hot stones.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool too. That was a good observation. Anything else, guys? You don't think so?
I mean, it's cool.
Any other surprises? Go ahead.
Well, it's cool that God doesn't always like display himself in like the craziest, biggest, most fantastic things. Like like it's just subtle and calm and
yeah. Sometimes we look for this like miraculous point to Jesus moment. Sometimes where it's like, God, show me you're real. There was this crazy wind, and God wasn't in the wind. There was a crazy earthquake. God wasn't in the earthquake. There was a crazy fire. Like he probably thought like, oh my gosh, the world's ending. Like people would be scared about that kind of thing. And it was just in the whisper that he covered his face, and the presence of God went out, and that's when he talked with God. Yeah. Something that I like in this is in this passage we see this theme of obedience. It's really funny because like I mentioned earlier, like after Elijah witnessed all these crazy things, he ran away from God. And so we kind of see two things for obedience. We see two calls for it. One for Elijah, and then one for Elisha as well. Elijah ran away in fear, but he was called. It's funny because he went southern way to the mountain. God calls him to tell him to go back, and so he goes back and comes out of the way. And while he's doing that, he's like, hey, anoint some new kings for northern and southern Israel, and anoint a new prophet to replace you eventually. So it's funny because he says to Elisha he puts his cloak on him. So the significance of the cloak being thrown on Elisha is that was his way of anointing, saying, hey, you're going to take my mantle after I die or after I leave or whatever. And so Elisha knew what that meant. So that's why he dropped the plow and did what he did to act in obedience. And then Elisha says, let me kiss my father and mother, and then I will follow you. So this response might be confusing because Elijah says to Elisha, go back again, for what have I done to you? That's pretty much saying, like, what am I doing to stop you? Like, hurry up and go and then come back. So that's what we're seeing happen in that dialogue. And not only does Elisha act in obedience, but he commits 100% as well. Like, he takes his oxen, slaughters them, sacrifices them, and then uses the yoke to start a fire to boil the meat of the oxen as well, and feeds it to his family and has a feast. And so, like, he's like throwing away his livelihood. He's throwing away any chance he has of going back to what his life was before. He says, hey, I'm going to follow God. I'm in it all the way. So we see him sold out pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. Some cool things in that passage. How does this passage to you guys, maybe going into the meaning of the text, what does this passage teach us about God? You guys have any ideas?
Well, what I said before is essentially God can be subtle, and he often is. Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, I mean, I threw out what the main points are going to be right away, is that obviously God's in control. We're seeing that throughout this whole passage, because they're the whole purpose for Elijah is to say, hey, Baal's not the true God, Yahweh, God is the true God. So we know that God's in control, and even in this story that we're seeing, we show that no matter what you do, there's nothing you can do to make God love you more or love you less. Like, Elijah, at the top of his game, so to speak, sees these miracles and runs away. And he was discouraged. But God could still use him, even in his disobedience. And he even pleads to God, kill me. I'm no better than my forefathers. I'm no better than the people before me. He's comparing himself to those that worshipped false gods, saying, like, just kill me now. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. But God still uses him. So yeah, that was a cool thing. How do we sum up this passage in our own words?
I would probably say that so it's about Elijah, right? After he's seen God do like all this miraculous, wonderful stuff. But then a lady who's obviously wearing the pants in the conversation because her husband comes up running to her and he's like, oh, he won. He lit it on fire. And so she was like, I'm going to kill you now. And so once he hears this threat, he just starts running. Like, even after he's seen all this stuff, he just has this moment of doubt. And then, so he goes to sleep in the desert, and an angel wakes him up, and he's like, yo, you're hungry, you need to eat your food. So he eats his food, and then he goes back to sleep, and then he wakes up again, and he eats his food. And then he makes his way to a cave, and he, like, discovers God, and God's like, hey, I have a plan, like, you just gotta follow the plan, and you'll be good. And so then he goes and finds Elisha, and he's like, bro, come follow me. Like, I'm going to throw my cloak on you. Just come follow me. And so Elisha was like, yeah, I'm going to follow you. Yeah.
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 Really.
Yeah. And they lived happily after. Yeah, but that was a good paraphrase. So coming soon to you, the Sarah translation of the Bible, where it's like, yeah. But yeah, so that kind of helps us. If you can sum up the passage in the way that you did, that kind of might help you think through some of those major themes as we're going. So no, yeah, that's awesome. And like I said earlier, like what this passage does, like every passage will point to God or point to Jesus. And this one, obviously, we know that Jesus comes from David's line. So this is just showing us the kings that fell, showing us that ultimately Jesus is the only thing that has any hope for salvation. There's no man that can do anything for you, no person. People will fail you, but God will not fail you. So thanks for sharing that. Let's see. Was there something you were going to say, Patrick? Did you have any other thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
Any other observations, meaning, anything like that? That's stuck out to you?
Not or meaning.
What about you, Chris?
Okay, so I feel like another thing that's kind of prevalent in here is, like, fear is disobedience. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so, like, something that's kind of cool is, like, I don't want to say kind of cool, but, like, yeah, Elijah obeyed God. He had obedience, but he also disobeyed God. Like, he when he ran away, he wasn't called to do that. He was where he was needed to be at. And so there was kind of a consequence. Like, he was having to do all this extra, not, of course, walking, but, like, he went 40 days and 40 nights traveling to the mountain exhausted and hungry, I'm sure, because it doesn't say he ate anything else. Like the angels fed him and say, hey, you're going to have a long journey. Go now. So, I mean, even though, yeah, we sometimes mess up, God can still use us. So we see once again that call of obedience in Elijah and Elisha. So that's, I think, the overall application, and I mentioned it earlier once again, that wherever you're at, God can use you as long as you have faith in Him. And on top of that, the other application part was that there's nothing you can do to make God love you more or love you less. You hear us tell you that all the time in core groups, so we hope to see you soon in core groups. But I mean, yeah, that's chapter 19 in a nutshell. It's crazy how after he witnessed all those crazy things, he just forgot everything that he saw. Yeah, awesome. Hey, well, thanks for joining us. So once again, we're recording this on Tuesday. So if I saw you on Wednesday, awesome. If I didn't see you on Wednesday, we'll see you next time, hopefully. But thanks for hanging out. Everyone, throw your penguin at the camera, and then dance out. Woo! Yeah! You all missed. Thank goodness.